Most people destroy their own blessings with their mouths. The moment they discover a secret, they rush to announce it, to share it, to prove it, and in doing so, they weaken it. Real power is quiet. Real transformation happens in silence. If you're listening to this, you've been entrusted with something precious, a goal, a breakthrough, an insight. I'm here to show you why keeping it yourself may be the most Every breakthrough in your life begins as a seed. A seed is fragile. You do not toss it into the street and expect it to flourish. You plant it in soil, you cover it, you water it, you give it time. The same principle applies to every idea, every goal, every new habit you want to grow. In the beginning, it lives only in your mind and your heart. It is still soft, still tender, still vulnerable to the weather of other people's opinions. The moment you rush to share it, to announce it, to prove it, you expose that seed to winds it cannot yet withstand. That is why silence is not just wise, it is necessary. Think of the last time you felt excited about a new plan. Maybe it was a business idea, a new discipline, a spiritual insight, or even a change you wanted to make in your health. The excitement burned in you, and your first instinct was to tell someone. You wanted to celebrate it, get feedback, feel supported. But how often did that sharing lead to doubt creeping in? A friend raised an eyebrow, a relative reminded you of a past failure, someone joked about it. Even if they meant no harm, their words planted little seeds of hesitation. Maybe they're right, maybe I'm dreaming too big. Without realizing it, your fire cooled. This is the hidden cost of premature exposure. Ideas in their infancy are not strong enough to defend themselves. They have no track record, no roots. Other people's skepticism can easily overwhelm your initial enthusiasm. When you protect an idea in silence, you give it the chance to root itself deeply inside you. You allow your subconscious to work on it without interference. You refine it privately, test it quietly, learn from mistakes without an audience. By the time you bring it out into the world, it is no longer just an idea. It is already a living reality. The seed has become a plant. Keeping a secret does not mean isolating yourself or distrusting everyone. It is an act of stewardship. Just as a mother shields a newborn from loud noises and harsh conditions, you shield your new dream from unnecessary exposure. This is not secrecy born from fear. It is privacy born from respect. You respect the process enough to protect it. You respect yourself enough to give your best work the environment it needs to thrive. In a world addicted to broadcasting every move, choosing silence becomes an act of strength. Silence also serves as a mirror. When you keep something to yourself, you are forced to confront your own motives. Without an audience to impress, you begin to see whether you truly want this goal for yourself or only for recognition. Many people discover that what they were excited about was not a calling but a performance. Silence strips away performance. It leaves only the genuine desire, and from that genuine desire, true discipline is born. There is another, deeper reason why keeping a secret strengthens it. Every word you speak is energy leaving your body. Talking about a goal before you have acted on it can create a false sense of accomplishment. Your brain releases some of the same chemicals it would release after actually achieving it. This is why people who announce their plans loudly on social media often fail to follow through. They have already enjoyed the emotional reward without doing the work. By staying quiet, you keep that energy inside. It builds pressure, focus, and drive. When you finally take action, you act from a place of fullness rather than depletion. In practical terms, guarding your secret can be simple. Write your ideas in a private journal. Work on them in the early hours when the world is asleep. If someone asks what you are up to, give a brief, non-specific answer and return to your work. Resist the urge to explain. Remind yourself that you are not hiding. You are incubating. You are not denying anyone. You are simply nurturing something until it is strong enough to stand. Over time, this practice of restraint becomes a form of self-mastery. Each time you choose silence, you strengthen your ability to focus, to wait, to act deliberately rather than impulsively. These are the muscles that carry all great achievements. As days and weeks pass, you will notice a change in yourself. Your energy will feel less scattered. Your thoughts will be clearer. Without the noise of external opinions, you will begin to hear your own inner voice more distinctly. That voice will guide you, warn you, encourage you. It will tell you when your idea is ready to be shared and with whom. It will also teach you discernment. Not every ear deserves to hear your secret, and not every eye deserves to see your process. Some people will only understand your dream once it has become real. Let them. When you finally unveil your work, it will speak for itself. People will not be able to dismiss it as fantasy because it will stand before them as fact. They will sense the depth behind it, the quiet hours invested, the discipline forged in silence. This is the paradox. By saying less at the beginning, you end up being heard more at the end. By hiding the seed, you grow the tree. By keeping your mouth shut when the impulse is to speak, you create the conditions for something far more powerful than applause. You create results. Silence is not weakness. It is protection, gestation, and preparation. It is a choice to honor the process. The next time you feel that rush of excitement about a new secret, remember the seed, cover it, water it, let it take root. Let your actions, not your announcements, become the proof. In a world that shouts, you will move quietly, and when your time comes to reveal, your work will echo louder than any words you could have spoken months earlier. When you choose silence, you are not simply refusing to speak. You are conserving energy. That energy does not evaporate. It becomes concentrated fuel for focus, clarity, and execution. The first trap many people fall into when they set a new goal is the temptation to talk about it too much. They discuss their plans at length with friends, on social media, at family dinners. In doing so, they create a false sense of progress. The brain releases the same good chemicals it would release after achieving the goal itself. This is why so many people are great at talking about change, but poor at living it. They spend their energy on description instead of construction. Silence breaks this trap. It keeps the energy inside you where it can be transformed into work. Silence also trains discipline. In a world built on sharing every thought instantly, resisting the urge to announce your plans is like lifting a mental weight. Each time you stay quiet, you strengthen the muscle of patience. Patience allows you to plan more carefully, to prepare more deeply, to move with precision instead of impulse. A martial artist does not step into a fight after one day of training. He spends months or years repeating movements in silence, perfecting his stance, his breath, his timing. The quiet repetition is not emptiness, it is preparation. In the same way, your decision to remain silent about your goal is like time spent in the training hall. Each day of restraint adds power to your eventual action. Another dimension of silence is mystery. People respect what they do, not fully understand. When you keep your goals private, you create an aura of depth around yourself. Colleagues, friends, even competitors can sense something is happening inside you, but they cannot name it. That uncertainty works in your favor. It prevents sabotage and invites curiosity. By the time they discover what you have been working on, it is already a reality. Instead of defending a fragile idea, you are presenting a finished result. This shift from explanation to demonstration is what separates doers from talkers. There is also a subtle spiritual aspect to silence. Ancient traditions taught that words are like spells. They carry vibration. Speaking too soon can dissipate that vibration before it has gathered enough force to manifest. Keeping silent allows vibration to build until it becomes form. Modern neuroscience offers a similar explanation. Your reticular activating system, the filter in your brain, takes your inner focus as a command. The less conflicting input it receives from other people's opinions, the stronger your own command becomes. Silence gives your mind a single, clear signal. This is important. This is mine. This is happening. Practically, you can use your mornings for silent work. When the world sleeps, your mind is clear. You can rehearse your goals, write, study, or build without distraction. You are not hiding from anyone. You are training yourself. Each morning of silent action is like adding another brick to a foundation no one can see yet. Months later, you will stand on that foundation while others are still drawing blueprints. This is how athletes prepare for a season, how artists develop a new body of work, how entrepreneurs build products before launching them. The quiet hours are where power accumulates. Silence also frees you from the burden of validation. When you stop talking about your goal, you stop waiting for other people to approve of it. This can feel uncomfortable at first, but it is liberating. You no longer need to defend your ideas or argue your worth. Instead, you pour your energy into the only thing that matters, the next step. As you act without applause, you build self-trust. Each promise you keep to yourself strengthens your belief in your own word. Over time, this belief becomes unshakable confidence. You do not have to declare your power because you feel it. Another benefit of silence is focus. Talking about a goal invites opinions, suggestions, criticisms, and distractions. Some of these may be useful, but most will scatter your attention. Every piece of advice can pull you off course. In silence, you hear one voice, your own. You can evaluate your progress honestly. You can adjust without public pressure. You can change direction without having to explain yourself to a chorus of observers. This flexibility is a hidden strength that only exists in private work. It is also worth recognizing that silence protects your relationships. When you constantly announce plans and then fail to deliver, you train others not to take you seriously. Over time, this erodes trust. But when you speak less and deliver more, you build a reputation for reliability. People begin to associate your name with action rather than empty talk. This reputation becomes an asset you can carry into every area of your life. It is built not by grand speeches, but by quiet consistency. The paradox of silence is that it makes your eventual voice stronger. By the time you speak, you are no longer trying to convince anyone. You are sharing something real. Your words carry the weight of experience. People can feel the hours behind them, the discipline, the restraint. In a noisy world, such words cut through. They are rare and valuable. They command attention without shouting. Silence is not about secrecy for its own sake. It is about alignment. It is about keeping your energy, your focus, and your intentions moving in the same direction. Each day you stay quiet, you accumulate a little more power. Each day you resist the urge to broadcast, you strengthen your ability to build. This is how small intentions grow into great results. The next time you feel the impulse to tell someone your plan, pause. Ask yourself, am I sharing to strengthen the work, or am I sharing to feel good in the moment? If it is the second, stay silent. Put that energy back into action. Protect your goal. Feed it with work instead of words. Let it grow until it no longer needs protection. Then, when you finally reveal it, it will stand on its own. Your silence will have built the power you need to carry it forward. Every time you decide to change your life, you create a small spark inside you. That spark is fragile. It needs oxygen, but not a storm. Negativity is that storm. It can come disguised as advice, as humor, even as love. Someone laughs at your idea. Someone warns you just in case. Someone reminds you of everything you tried before and failed. These comments, even when well-meaning, can drench your spark before it becomes a flame. Protecting your dreams from negativity is not arrogance. It is survival. It is the understanding that your dream cannot yet defend itself, so you must defend it. Negativity exists everywhere because most people operate from fear. They fear risk. They fear looking foolish. They fear change. When you announce a new path, you confront their fear. Some will unconsciously try to pull you back to the familiar, not because they hate you, but because your growth threatens their sense of safety. If you are not aware of this dynamic, you will misinterpret their reactions. You will think their doubts are wisdom. You will think their caution is care, and you will shrink your vision to make others comfortable. This is why it is vital to build a protective boundary around your dream in its early stages. That boundary begins with silence. If you don't reveal your plan, no one can criticize it. But protection goes deeper than secrecy. It also involves choosing carefully who you allow into your mental space. Some people will drain your energy even if you never speak of your goal. They will fill the air with cynicism, gossip, hopelessness. Being around them is like standing in smoke. Even if you don't breathe deeply, it still irritates your lungs. Protecting your dream means limit your exposure to this smoke. Spend less time with voices that dampen your spirit. Spend more time in environments that lift you. It is equally important to guard your inner dialogue. Sometimes the harshest negativity is not external but internal. You rehearse past failures. You replay mistakes. You imagine worst-case scenarios. These thoughts weaken your resolve just as surely as someone else's doubt. Begin treating your mind as sacred space. When a negative thought arises, notice it but don't feed it. Replace it with an image of your goal already achieved. This is not wishful thinking, it is mental training. Just as an athlete trains muscles, you train your focus. Over time, positive focus becomes your default state and negativity loses its grip. Protecting your dream also means protecting your time. Negativity often enters through distraction, endless scrolling, mindless conversations, unnecessary arguments. Each moment you give to these drains is a moment you take from your dream. Start creating quiet hours. Each day when you are unreachable except for emergencies, use those hours to work on your goal or nourish yourself. In that protected space, your dream gains strength and your mind becomes calmer. You will be surprised how much progress you make when negativity has no doorway into your day. Another powerful practice is to surround yourself with examples of what is possible. Read biographies of people who overcame doubt and resistance. Listen to speeches that lift you. Keep a folder of quotes or images that remind you why you started. These are your mental shields. When negativity tries to sneak in, you raise a shield and keep moving. Over time, you will feel less vulnerable because your inner environment is saturated with encouragement. This is how you reprogram your mind to expect success rather than fear failure. Sometimes, protecting your dream requires making difficult choices about relationships. You may need to distance yourself from someone you love who cannot stop undermining you. You may need to change your daily routine to avoid environments filled with criticism. This can be painful, but it is temporary. Once your dream is strong enough to stand on its own, you can re-enter those spaces without losing your focus. Until then, treat your dream like a child. Give it safe surroundings until it can walk. Remember too that negativity will not vanish completely. Even when your dream is fully grown, some people will still criticize. But by then it will not matter, because you will have built resilience. You will have proof. Their words will bounce off your results. That is the goal of this chapter, not to hide forever, but to protect long enough to build strength. You do not want to live in a bubble. You want to create a fortress of focus within yourself. Then you can walk anywhere without being shaken. This process is not about being against others. It is about being for yourself. When you protect your dream, you are honoring your own potential. You are saying, I matter. My vision matters. My future matters. This self-respect radiates outward. People may not understand your silence, but they will feel your conviction. They will sense the boundaries. Many will begin to respect you more, not less, because you are not easily swayed. Your steadiness becomes an unspoken example for others who are still drowning in negativity. Finally, understand that protecting your dream is an ongoing practice. It is not something you do once. It is a daily choice. Each morning ask yourself, what can I do today to keep my focus clean? What can I do to keep my spark alive? Sometimes the answer is as simple as turning off the news, skipping a gossip session, or writing your vision in a notebook instead of announcing it online. These small acts add up. They create a shield around your dream until it no longer needs one. The world will always have storms. Winds of doubt will blow. Rains of criticism will fall. But if you keep your seed covered, if you water it with discipline, shelter it with positive focus, it will grow roots deep enough to withstand any weather. One day, you will look back and realize that protecting your dream from negativity was not a burden, it was very reason it survived. And when people finally see the tree that grew from your seed, they will not remember the storms, they will only see the strength. Silence by itself is not the destination. Silence is a doorway. It is the fertile soil in which something new can take root. But a seed left in soil without water will still wither. In the same way, the quiet space you've created for your dream must be filled with deliberate action. This is the final step, transforming the power you have conserved through silence into movement that produces results. Action built in silence is different from action built in noise. When you act quietly, you act without distraction, without show, without the weight of other people's expectations. Each step you take belongs wholly to you. You do not have to defend it or explain it. You are free to experiment, adjust, and grow at your own pace. This freedom makes your work cleaner and your progress faster. You are no longer splitting your energy between doing and talking. You are pouring it all into doing. Begin by breaking your vision into small, daily tasks. Each morning, before the world begins demanding your attention, choose one or two actions that move you closer to your goal. Do them in the quiet hours. Do them without fanfare. As you finish each small task, you will feel your confidence grow. This confidence is not based on other people's applause. It is based on evidence you have created with your own hands. In time, those small tasks accumulate into mastery. Turning silence into action also means creating rituals. A ritual is a behavior you perform at the same time, in the same way, until it becomes automatic. Rituals remove decision fatigue. They ensure that even on difficult days, you still take a step. This is how athletes train, how monks meditate, how artists produce their greatest work. They do not rely on motivation, they rely on practice. In your quiet space, build a ritual of action. It could be writing for 30 minutes at dawn, exercising before breakfast, studying a new skill each night. Choose what matters, and then show up for it whether you feel like it or not. Silence and action together also deepen your self-knowledge. Without the noise of external approval, you discover what truly drives you. You begin to see which tasks energize you and which drain you. You learn to listen to your intuition. This self-knowledge is priceless because it allows you to direct your effort where it has the most impact. You stop wasting time on appearances and start investing time in substance. This is how great bodies of work are built, not by announcing, but by quietly, consistently doing. Another benefit of acting in silence is resilience. When you make mistakes, and you can correct them privately. You do not have an audience watching your missteps. This makes you bolder. You are free to try, to fail, to learn, to improve. Each cycle strengthens you. By the time you present your work to the world, you have already passed through dozens of quiet failures and refined your approach. What others see as overnight success is really the visible part of a long, invisible process. To turn silence into action, you also need to measure your progress. In the absence of applause, metrics keep you honest. Write down your targets, track your steps, celebrate each small milestone privately. These private celebrations feed your motivation. They remind you that progress is happening even when no one else sees it. They keep your spark alive through the inevitable plateaus. Guard your energy as you act. Rest is part of action. Many people burn out because they confuse relentless motion with productive action. In silence, you can see the difference. You can schedule rest, reflection, and renewal. This rhythm, work, rest, reflect, is how you sustain effort for years, not just weeks. It is how you turn a temporary burst of enthusiasm into a lifelong practice. At some point, your quiet action will bear fruit. The small steps will have compounded into something visible, a new body, a new skill, a new business, a new state of mind. When that happens, you will not need to make an announcement. People will notice. Your actions will speak for you. Your life itself will become the message. This is the highest form of influence, not telling others what you will do, but showing them what can be done. And when you reach that point, you will realize that silence was never about hiding. It was about building. It was about creating the conditions for authentic action. You will look back on the early mornings, the quiet hours, the secret rituals, and you will see that each one was a brick in the foundation of your success. You will understand that your restraint gave you power, and your power gave you freedom. This is the secret of turning silence into action. You are not waiting, you are preparing. You are not avoiding the world, you are equipping yourself to enter it with strength. Each silent step is an investment. Each disciplined action is a deposit in the bank of your future. Over time, those deposits compound into a legacy. And when you finally choose to speak, your words will be backed by proof. Your presence will carry weight, and your example will teach more than any speech ever could. So, as you finish this chapter, make a decision. Choose one action, just one, that you will take today in silence. Take it without telling anyone. Tomorrow, choose another. Day by day, build habits, protect your dream, focus your energy, and move quietly. One day, without fanfare, you will cross a threshold. You will look up and find that you have become the person you imagined in secret. And the world will see not a plan, not a promise, but a reality you created through silence and action. Awful move you ever make.